And good evening, Munchie Mafia. Tonight is a subscriber request. We are making Salisbury steak, and this is for Greg. So let's get to it. Okay, so first off, what we're going to do is we're going to go down the list of ingredients. We've got a 93% lean ground beef, although you can use cube steak if you want. I prefer to just use ground beef because it's easier. Oh my God. No, Gil, sorry. No, Gil. Go away. Um, Beef broth, um, some of our smoked garlic, tomato paste, and I love stuff in tubes because when I am done using this, I can just pitch it into the freezer and then pull it out the next time I need it and not have to worry about waste. So then we're going to make a roux, and let's get our vegetables started. Of course, it would be helpful if I would have turned the oven or the stove on. So let's put these over there and we'll wait for that to heat up. And we'll come back over here for a moment. And what we're going to be serving with this is asparagus. Um, so this is 1.22 pounds of ground beef. Not entirely sure if we really need to eat a half pound each, but we'll see. So we're going to take this, we're going to put it in a bowl, get rid of this, because we no longer need that. Now, when it comes to putting seasonings and things, you could do just about anything with this. Just don't overthink it. Which means I'll probably overthink it because it's what civvies do. So we're going to start with salt and pepper. Where'd my pepper mill go? I lost my pepper mill. It's right there, right in front of me. All right. We're just going to keep it simple. In other words, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, civvy, whichever way you want to look at it. So we're just going to put some salt and some black pepper in here, and we're going to just call that a day because we don't want to pollute it too much with too many flavors. Because I'm not making meatloaf here, I'm not making meatballs. We're just making Salisbury steak, which is a very, very basic, very easy dish. So, oh, that's got a pour spout. Bonus. Hooray. All right, a little bit more salt. And that's coarse because I finally got rid of the last of that stuff. And I'm going to get some gloves because I don't like touching things too much. But what we are going to do is we're going to take a little bit of that smoked garlic and we're going to fold it in there. So here's our smoked garlic. Just a little bit. It's roughly 2 or 3 cloves of smoked garlic. Now we're going to mix this together. And what we're doing is we're going to get this all mixed together. But we're going to mix it. We're going to over mix it just a little bit. We're going to over emulsify it. There isn't a lot of fat in this one. Maybe I should have gotten the fattier one. But we're going to just over emulsify it a little bit so that it does toughen up a little bit more than you would a burger. Because when you get ground beef like this and you're making burger patties, you don't just grab a chunk of it, form it into a ball, flatten it out, throw it on the grill, or else what'll happen, as you may know, they fall apart on you. They have to be emulsified a little bit by just mixing and mixing and mixing, and then they hold together a little bit better. So if you didn't know that and you wondered why your burgers on the grill are falling apart on you, there you go. You're welcome. All right. All right, so let's see here. We're going to be looking at a Timmy size. He'll probably eat a ½ pound. We want to make them fairly flat. It's basically a burger patty, burger steak. I don't eat that much, so. And the garlic is smoked and already cooked completely through, so a little bit of garlic isn't going to hurt the dogs. You know what? I'm going to take a little bit more of that. Notice there's a big chunk of garlic in there. Okay, so we're going to just wad it back up a little bit and get that folded in. And then we're going to just get it all nice and going. This one might have a few little pieces of garlic. That's a big piece. And that's okay. So, I mean, there's some other little pieces in there, but grand scheme of things, puppies have got to have their snack too. Oh, but garlic! You know, a little bit of garlic is not going to kill them. So if you look at some of these foo-foo dog foods, and dog treats, you're gonna see that a little bit of granulated garlic or something in it. All right, so I got my flat pan in the back. I'm going to turn that heat on. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm going to feel how this one's going. That one's doing pretty well. So now we're going to look for our olive oil. I'm going to give it a swirl of that. I'm not going to use all these vegetables because I got other things in mind. Got Cornish pasties coming up, and yes, I know bell peppers do not belong in Cornish pasties. In order for them to be called a true Cornish pasty, you have to have specific ingredients and made a certain way. But you know, let's be realistic here. We're not in Cornish. We're not in England. And number two, we can make it however way we want, right? Right. All right. But we don't want to. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more. I really like a lot of mushroom. There's also no mushrooms in Cornish pasties, traditionally. But it's okay. All right. Give these a stir on the stove. Get a pretty good heat. Beep, 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 beep. All right. Now we're going to get our, let's see here, third of a cup. Right, half of a cup is the number 8. So 4. 2 would be, see here, I'm trying to remember my kitchen math. So see here, third of a cup is 6. Yeah. 5.5. So yeah, so we're gonna put just a scant 1/3 cup of flour. So we're gonna build our gravy in this with the vegetables. Now what we're looking for is for those onions to get nice and translucent. We don't want them too limpy. We also don't want them too crisp. We do want the mushrooms to be soft and fully cooked. Sawtooth cans aren't meant to flippy, so I tried. All right. Now went and bought myself a new bottle of wine, and I'm trying to warm up to Washington wines a little bit more than usual. Um, what I've got here is Green Wing, and it's a Cabernet, Columbia Valley 2022, Duckhorn Portfolio, Green Wing wine, cellared and bottled by Green Wing in Prosser, Washington. I'm going to give that a whirl. It's been sitting here breathing for quite a bit. Take a gander at it. It's very heavy on cherry. I smell a lot of cherry, but I'm also smelling apple for some reason. Oh, that's lovely. Wow. So this is going to be the wine that we're going to use to deglaze the pan. As you can see, we got lots of browning happening already in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to toss that butter in there. And we're going to lower the temperature down. I like one pot wonders, or some semi one pot wonder, because this really isn't a one pot wonder because we're actually getting several dishes dirty. So we're going to get that butter in there. Let it get happy. And then we're going to build our roux with the veggies in it. And yes, you can do that. And people are like, that's not how you build a roux. Well, when you don't have an 8-burner stove at home and you're trying to conserve on water, you just got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So, next, we're going to get our flour. Besides, I've been doing it like this at home for years, and it's never done me wrong. Never, ever, ever, ever. Honest. All right. Now watch, it's going to do me wrong today, right? It's usually how it works. So we want to cook the rawness of the flour out. We're just going to let it just continue on just a slightly lower temperature, although, you know, electric coil burners don't really cool down that well, so just move it around, move it around, move it around. Now, I like to put just a little smidge of tomato into this gravy because it just gives it a little bit more of a lush, more complex flavor. So it's about a tablespoon right there. Wow, that wine is just delicious. Okay. Now we're going to get our green wing because this is really lovely. I really love this. I think I like this better than the Devil You Don't Know. I mean, that one was pretty good, but it had to grow on me a little bit. So now we're going to deglaze the pan. We're going to jack the temp up just a little bit more. Then we're going to scrape the fond a little bit. Let it get married to that beautiful tomato paste. It is kind of stupid to buy those little tiny cans of tomato paste when that's all you need. I mean, what do you do with it after that? Not really a lot that you can do with it. Okay, so there we have it. Maybe just a smidge more. There we go. All right. Now we're going to give this a splashy splash. And it's entirely up to you if you want to give it just a little smidgen of heavy cream on the finish. I don't particularly enjoy that a lot. Um, but you can. Also, if you're really on a tight budget, there's no shame in using the powder mix or the stuff in a jar, especially if it's only just you by yourself. Um, it's okay. There's no shame in that, but you can definitely doctor it up by adding a little bit of this and a little bit of that, especially that tomato paste. Just a little smidge of that just really brightens it up. It really needs a little bit of that acid. So we're going to just go in and give it a little bit of salt and some cracked pepper. And I really don't want to go overboard with the herbs in this. So we're just going to just kind of make it like traditional Americana blue plate special sort of way. And there we have that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn that back burner down to a 3, which is a medium low. I'll pull my big pan over here. Let this sauce come up and just let it do its thing. It's going to dance a little bit in the pan, and then we'll check out how thick it is and go from there. We might have to add a little bit more beef broth. And if you don't like buying these box broths, this one's a 50% less sodium. They also have an unsalted one, but there's also other ones that are organic, and they're actually labeled as bone broth. Okay, let's actually give it just a smidgen of oil. It's gonna need a little smidgen of oil. We got some action going on that pan. This pan's already been preheated. It was sitting back here, just hanging out and getting all jiggy with the heat and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm gonna need I always burn myself with this pan. I love it, but I also hate it at the same time. I'm not even sure where this thing even came from. I think it was given to me as a gift by somebody. All right, so as you can see, it's making some noise. So we're gonna just give it a little bit of a pat. A little bit of this oil over. Give this one a little bit of a pat because we want to make sure that it flattens out and it doesn't curl up at all. We got the doggy one. We'll stick the doggy one right there in the back corner. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this because we no longer need this. Dang. And I better get the asparagus. So now asparagus, you don't just cut it to trim it, you actually snap it. Every chef and every person that has, I also love asparagus for their rubber bands. I always save the rubber bands out for that purpose right there. So asparagus, to find out where, just grab both ends, snap, snap. It's the wrong time of year for asparagus, so stuff is invasive. So if you ever grow it, get yourself a little kiddie pool and grow it in there, but keep in mind it takes a few years for these things to really just take off, because these things will take off on you, and the next thing you know it, you're going to have this stuff growing up in your grass, and it's gonna F up your lawnmower, probably lower your credit score at the same time. And god dang it, I washed them earlier and ended up getting some lint for my towels. All right, so these you can actually use in stock. We're gonna just let those sit there and get happy for a bit. Okay, I just need to find my spatula. See how these babies are doing. All right. Flippy flip. Another flippy flip. I used to have a dome lid for this, but I don't know where my dome lid went. So we're just gonna grab pot lid. Let them do its thing. All right, so let's see here. Just trying to figure out what the heck we're doing. So we'll be back in a little bit. This is gonna take a little while. Alright, and we're back, and we are having some problems, so we are going to be doing another voiceover. Yay, we're teaching Timmy how to do voiceovers today. So what we're doing is we are getting our goodies ready. We had let the Salisbury steaks sit in the gravy itself. So we're just going to give it a stir, and we're going to get ready to start plating here in just a moment. We're taking care of the asparagus and getting it ready. I like to have mine with some snap still to it. Timmy likes to have his a little softer. So here we go. We're going to get ready to start plating. And I like to do things in odd numbers. So we are going to be putting a few asparagus diagonal on this rectangular platter. We're going to do 5 here. And then we're going to do 3 here. And I decided I don't want to go that way, so we're going to end up flipping it to the other corner, is I don't like things bookended. And bookending is when you put something in the middle of the plate and then you put another ingredient on both sides, like asparagus, for example. So you want to give it a little bit of a different asymmetrical pattern on the plate. And next, we're going to show you how to pick up a plate when you're delivering it. You want to make sure that you're not touching the actual rim of the plate, and that's considered the real estate of the person who is going to be eating the meal. It's also more hygienic that way. So we're going to put a dollop of the gravy down. And we want to make sure that we get some of the goodies, the mushrooms and the onions, and that smoked garlic, that delicious smoked garlic. And we're going to just plate that down right there, and we're going to just give it a little smidge more of the gravy, because that's where it's all about. Some more gravy, and then we're going to take our Pommes Duchesse that we learned on a previous video, and we're going to plate some in one corner. We're going to do 1 on one corner and then 3 on another. So we got 1s, 3s, and 5s. And there we have it. We're going to go in for the money shot right there. And there you have it. Salisbury steak with Pommes, Duchesse, and asparagus. Quintessential American classic. Thank you, Munchie Mafia, and we hope to see you soon. Don't forget, cook with love and eat with passion. Have a good night, everybody.